Coming back to the presentation, so we have taken up a mega journey. We are trying to transform the railway stations. The railway stations, the way they have been for last 150 years, are not going to be the same. Maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, we'll have a large number of stations which will actually be speaking a totally different language. We already have examples. We have got Rani Kamlapati in Bhopal, which is actually at in the new model. We have got Gandhinagar. We have got SMVT terminal in Bangalore. So we have got examples coming up. Ayodhya station has been redeveloped, so a lot of work going on. Currently, we have more than 55 stations where work is actually going on, and the scope is expanding. So we are actually completing the plans and going for more and more work. So the ambition is to cover at least 500, 600 major stations and all the other stations, in fact. So we currently are working on 1,200 plus stations. Just the components, if you see in a typical railway station, this is actually the plan of Nagpur railway station. Now, most of the work, if you see outside the track, it is we can say run of the mill, even though it is in a cramped space, a lot of people walking by, but then people can do these works. The challenge is how to do the work which is within the tracks. Now, a lot of discipline is required, a lot of challenges because the trains are moving, people are moving, there is 25,000 volts electric wires in between, utilities are there, where to actually put the construction equipment, how to handle the whatever material we have got. And how to, I mean, these spaces, what we are talking about now, this space from here to here, this is actually the heart of the new railway station. I'll just show what this looks like. Okay, this is another station. This is Kanpur railway station, and we have got a very nice plaza on top, on the roof of the railway station. Now, these are heavy structures, and these heavy structures require heavy foundations, heavy overall structure so that they can sustain. And safety, of course, we have got the trains running underneath, there are people over it, so safety is paramount. And in railways, we are paranoid about it, so a lot of challenge because of that. This is how this plaza that we are talking about, this is how it will look like in real time. So we have got so many activities going on. This is the heart of the station. This is actually being visualized as a connection between the two parts of the city, which is actually divided by the railway line, which is going at grade. Now, this is where the transformation is, but the construction of this particular piece is the most difficult part of the entire puzzle. Lots of works which are going on. Even the works that we executed at Rani Kamlapati or Gandhinagar, lot of disruption to traffic was there, lot of inconvenience to people, and other challenges that we have found. More views, so we are looking for these kind of roofs, the kind of roof you see at Churchgate here or the CSMT station or even Chennai Egmore. Now, these are the kind of roofs which give very nice thermal comfort even in this coastal environment. So, the people are happy under these sheds. So, these are the sheds that we are now talking about, that let them cover all the tracks. Already in Gandhinagar, we constructed 105-meter span roof, which is wonderful. Very good experience underneath that. Now, these are the kind of things that we are putting in. Gwalior station, so another station which is currently the work is going on. Now, how to get this infrastructure in place? So, I have left side the problem statement I have already put in, and on the right side, what we are trying to do, we are just trying to evolve some modular designs. It's a new field, hardly 4 or 5 years old. Now, for this modular designs, what we are trying to do is we are actually trying to approach it with a 360-degree approach. So, how the solution that we come up, how it is going to be cost effective, how it meets all the objectives. We need elegance, we need easy to launch, we need fast execution, we need lesser occupation of tracks. And all of those factors, and then because it is modular, then the economies of scale will automatically come in. Now, this is actually very complicated because normal construction on the tracks is complicated. This becomes even more complicated when we have to standardize across the tracks. So what we have done is we have engaged Arup, so they are our partners in this, and we are working on this. Mr. Francis, you have heard him yesterday, the wonderful lecture. So what we are doing is that we are actually trying to, some issue? Okay. So what we are trying to do is actually study the problem, and in fact, Arup is not working on any particular station, except that of course we have then engaged them for Safdarjung station. But basically we are working on at a higher level. So what normally what we do is we work on a project and or maybe we have a small scale. In this case, they have the scale that you think of for across India. Whatever is happening on all the stations, what is the minimum that we can come up with, and constructability, technical suitability, all the factors that we listed. So they have gone into trying to find a solution which will work at a large number of stations, so that once the ambition of government is there, how the executive, how the executing agencies, how they can also match up to that. I don't need to explain the benefits of modularization, so that you know. So what we have done is actually we have studied diverse kind of stations and seen that even though architecture wise every architect will come up with their own different kind of designs, once you strip it off those aesthetic elements and you find that the skeleton is sort of, I mean it's not exactly same, but there are some similarities, some things which start emerging out of it, and then we are coming up with some solutions and a wonderful report on how this process has been run. So that I'll request those who are interested, we keep on sharing with anybody who is interested in this, how we have come up with those solutions which are actually now meeting 60, 70, I mean that is the maximum that we can achieve, that 60%, 70% of the stations which these solutions can meet. Now those kind of the solutions which have come up, I mean this is the ideation phase. So the solutions that we have got is now the different components. In fact, for planning wise, because we can't plan whatever is inside the track without talking about what is outside. So the comprehensive plan is first seen, and then how our elements fit in. So this is the concourse, this is the waiting area above the tracks, this is the through roof, and this is the footover bridge. But then how all these elements are talking to each other, so that is a part of our report. And couple of that, first is how to plan this, and then how to execute this, what are the detailed drawings and all. So just let us see. So of course the first thing is grid. What sort of a grid will work? So lots of challenges in this grid, and lots of problems that we face today in railway stations is because of this grid, because the grid is not standard or the grid is not wide enough. And we don't have enough space on the platform to put so many columns and all. So because of schedule of dimension restrictions, so the grid was standardized at 36 meter after a lot of deliberations, because the more the span, more will be the complications in launching. But then less than that, it actually starts violating some of the principles which are required from NBC consideration, other considerations. So once this basic grid was finalized, then we have seen that in fact 12 meter spacing for concourse column and 36 meter for roof columns. Once that is there, so then we could actually start exploring that how now whatever we want, we need a deck at around 9 meter, 10 meter above the tracks. We need a roof which gives 6, 7 meters, 8 meters of clearance above the concourse. And now we need the footprint of it, least footprint on the platforms. So these are the objectives basically, and then whatever we come up with has to look good, because ultimately the user doesn't understand any engineering architecture. Only she sees something and she likes it. That's the success of our profession. I mean, rest of all is jargon. So we actually try to see it from all sides. That okay, what happens to the person when you enter the station? And lots of, in fact, we had very interesting discussions. Lots of work when this design has evolved. So we wanted lightweight structure, because one of the issues probably people will have with railway structures or government structures is that too heavy. Of course, the metros are coming up with elegant structures. So we have also tried how to reduce the severity of the structure. Let it not be a massive engineering structure. Let it be an elegant structure. And then for that, this Y-shaped columns was a good idea, that this Y-shaped column actually reduces the effective span of the beam. So the beam depth goes down and the severity of the structure goes down. And this launching, so this was a wonderful kind of work done by Mr. Francis and his team. So you can see that they were so very ambitious that this is a trailer which has gone right above the tracks. So it was very audacious, and people in railways were ki hoga ki nahi hoga, and we were like, yes, ki ho sakta hai if you want to work like this. And you can see the trailers going right above the tracks and constructing this. And this is something which does not require any closure of the railways operations. Ek baar column ban gaya, footing ban gaya, column erection is nothing, and after that you don't need to access the tracks at all. You don't even need to disturb the OHE, you don't need to disturb anything. But later on, we found that, okay, this is a bit too ambitious for the moment. So we don't have that kind of scale everywhere, because one project itself doesn't have that much work to do, so that we can go for this kind of an arrangement. So, you see that we have been thinking out of box. So the point why this image here is that we have been thinking out of box, trying to come up with solutions which, I mean, let us see what sticks. Let us see what sticks. So those kind of things, some of this are actually to provoke new ideas. This may be a bad idea, but then it will probably come up with some good idea. Okay, so after that, this roof is actually, I mean, Gandhinagar, if Ravi is there, so we had such a big, I mean, the main trusses of the roof we launched in something like 8 days, and the purlins were launched in like 6 months. Such a big headache, just purlin, every day 2 purlins you will put, and then the block is over, next time again you put 2 purlins. So that is why this scheme was taken, how we can actually do the roofing in such a manner that we can launch it properly and good quality. Of course, we want good quality, durable thing, shouldn't fall down, and then it should be complete. So now here you can see, this is another very audacious idea which we dropped later on, but this is a concrete dome being constructed over the tracks. So later on, again, this was a very audacious kind of a thing. So then we have gone down to steel dome, but the moment the dome comes up like this, it comes with the sheeting and all. People don't have to go on in situ. So here you are working on the deck, putting everything together, lift it and launch in position. So that kind of a thing where you can do work fast, people are very comfortable, safe, so productivity is higher. And you get what you wanted last make, there should be no leakage, the quality should be good. Here it can be ensured, the engineers, everybody can inspect properly. Okay, so the launching scheme was there. So, modular I will not really cover here, so people know what modular is. And this is actually now what the earlier images that we have seen is from the modular report, and this is actual design which we have done. Once those principles are applied to an actual station, this is how it comes up, and this has evolved even better than whatever was earlier. Now the column spacing of the concourse is at 18 meters. And now this column you see, instead of going as a Y, it is now spreading in all directions. So once we clad it and the architect starts running their imagination on this, you can see the possibilities which will come out of this, and I'll show more images. This is the cross-sectional view. Another from the other side. So you see that how sleek the structure is, even though it is still supporting the same. We had, I think, 800 by 800 or something like that, the columns at Rani Kamlapati. Of course, Gandhinagar had a hotel, so it was even more massive. But look at the sleekness of the structure. Now this is 36 meters, so look at just 300, 400 mm size members which are giving. And once you clad it, and we were just thinking that lots of spaces are there, you can put hidden LEDs and and maybe some jalis, and also you can give a lot of character to these kind of this skeleton once the architects start playing on this. So you can see the way this looks like. And once you go deep into it, then people who are those connoisseurs of, I don't know how you pronounce this word, but basically who love the steel, they start loving the detail. That it is a well-detailed structure, something, I mean once these blue pieces which are actually through CNC cutting and all, they come about, and then the whole structure comes in a good geometry. So it will start, but structure itself will start, that symmetry and other things will start giving more. Actually, the confidence comes from this elegance. I believe that if this is that elegant must be good. क्योंकि उतना ध्यान से इतने प्यार से अगर किसी ने उसको कट करके उसको बनाया, so probably then the other dimensions must also have been taken care of. So lots of little innovation. I have got only 1 minute left, so I'll just hurry up a bit. So we were trying to this launching scheme. This is the last part of the jigsaw puzzle. We have already done design and all. How to launch it in the minimum time. So what we have done is this project is a small project at Safdarjung which we are taking up, and next 1.5 months we'll actually demonstrate whether it works or not. If it doesn't work, then what will work? Again, the approach is not to be afraid that we'll fail. Yes, we'll fail, and then we'll find okay, this is the wrong way. This is one approach. We are already exploring another approach. We are getting people to brainstorm and trying to come up with a winning situation, solution which will come. Mr. Girish Dravid, maybe somewhere. Okay, so my time is almost over. So some more dimensions. We are actually adding more dimensions to it. So these are precast concrete planks. The roof, I'll just quickly show. This roof is coming out of this donut, and this is very interesting because it meets so many of our requirements that we should drain the water outside the yard, not lead the water into the yard. And the shape should be actually interesting from both sides. If I come from outside into the railway station, or if I go into the railway station or coming by the train, still that shape should be interesting from both sides. So lots of things going there. This has been designed using 2 or 3 basic elements. So again, very elegant, very simple, well engineered, and having that elegance. So I'll just show. You can see that this is not a full curve. So all the members are straight, funicular, but it is not even funicular. You can see that that it is having some illusion that it is a curve. So interesting, and then launching also is simple. So very simply, again, the fully assembled piece. Earlier you saw it was very audacious, different kind of thing. This one is simpler, still achieving the benefits that we were telling earlier. Good thing is actually that this is another station. The same elements are used. It's a totally different station. It is Chandigarh, I believe. So it can work. There's a small video. It is playing by itself. So this is another station. This is Jammu Tawi. If you change the station, so then it's changed Chandigarh. So just the stage. I mean the same elements you can use in a variety of ways. The same load, same kind of span. Normally 3 span, 4 span, 5 span track बीच में होते हैं दोनों platform के बीच में. So once you have modularized, then this is the possibility which comes up. So the engineering, 40%, 50%, 60% engineering goes out of the equation. Okay, you plan the station and start building. So that time, because currently we are taking 6 months to a year before we actually come down to this stage. So I'll just skip this and go this thing. So what is the work we are doing currently? Over 1,200 stations in planning stage. 55 work is already going on. CSMT we awarded recently, and the investment that Government of India is putting in is plus 77,500 crores. That was a month back, so they keep on expanding the scheme. Yeah, so it's and a modular scheme being implemented at Safdarjung as well as Chandigarh. 2 projects are going on. Okay, so that's.